Hello everybody, how are we all? And so I quite liked this style of card, so we're going to do a variation on a theme today, and we're going to mix it up a little bit, but it's the idea came from this. So the card we're making today is this one, and it's an accordion scene card. So this is the card we're doing. I'm using the Rose Garden pack. So this is available as a paper pad over on Amazon. It's also available as a digital kit over on DRK Crafts and also on in my Ko-fi shop. So go and check it out on there. All the links will be in the description. I've also got these packs, which are just paper packs. So they're not in the book form, they're just as papers. And I keep meaning I need to put them up on Ko-fi. So they will be up on Ko-fi at some point. I will put them up. But yeah, so this is literally the same as the books, but it's just they're loose sheets in a cellophane wrapping. Okay, so we need a piece that is 6 by 12. So if you've got a 6 by 6 card blank, you could use that. So I've got a 6 by 12 here, and we're going to score at 1.5, at 3, at 4.5, and at 6. So very similar to what we did last week, but obviously on a 6 by 6. And then you're also going to need two pieces that are 1.25 by 12, and these just need scoring halfway at 6 inches. And we will end up trimming a tiny fraction off the end of both of these. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and just fold it in half at the 6 inch thing. Now I think this card that I've got here is a little bit thick. It's about a 3, I think it might be a 350, so we might struggle a little bit, but anyway. So once you've done that and you fold that in half, your scored bits need to be on the front, and you're then going to concertina fold them. And what I would suggest you do is you open it up and kind of fold these back like that. Right, so we're going to concertina fold this front section here. And there we go. So you should end up with that. We're going to go ahead now and stick this pattern piece and mat piece on here. So your mat is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and your pattern is 5.5 by 5.5. So let's go ahead and stick this down. So that's that bit done. The next thing, you don't have to, but I've put in a piece of pattern paper in here, just because I quite like, obviously you can sort of see it. You don't need it, but I quite like it. So I've got one piece that is, so your mat is 1.25 by 5 3/4, and your pattern is 1 inch by 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick this onto the mat, and then stick that into there. Right, so that is all the decorating we need to do for now. The only other thing we need to do is put our white piece on the back where you're going to write your message. So I've got a mat, what would have been a mat, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then your white would be 5.5 by 5.5. But because my mat is already white, I thought, well, I may as well just go with the white mat and just leave it at that. There's no point in me, you know, adding extra bulk. Okay, so that's all the decorating that we need to do for now. So if we take these two strips I mentioned at the beginning, move out of the way, and then we're just going to fold them in half along that 6 inch line. And then what we want to do is, with them folded this way around, so your fold line wants to be on the right hand side, not the left. Normally you put it on the left. So with it like that, you're going to put pattern pieces on here. Now these need to be slightly less than the ones you've just stuck down, the one strip you just stuck down. So these, you've got a mat that is 1 inch by 5 3/4, and then you've got a pattern that is 3/4 of an inch by 5.5, and you need 2 of those. So we're going to go ahead now and stick this down onto that mat. There we go. Right, so then what we want to do is grab our card, and what's going to happen is this one here is going to go in here like this and just butt right up against that crease line. But what you might find is when you shut this and fold that over, oh, mine doesn't do it now, but on the other one I did yesterday, this popped off the edge. Just going to try the top one as well and see. Oh no, it's okay on this one. So just double check it, because if you find that it does pop off slightly, if it pops off slightly, then what you want to do is you just want to trim this back edge a little bit, because obviously going into that crease is kind of, and it depends on your folds as well, to be fair. So with that in place like that, I've lined it up along the bottom, I've folded this over like that, and I've just made a tiny little pencil mark just so I know where that crease is, and then I know where to put the glue. Now you can use glue or red tape. You want something strong. I'm going to use wet glue just because it just means you've got a bit of wiggle room if you make a mistake or something. And you want to make sure you line it up along the bottom and you put it right into that crease there, like that. And then let's fold this over, just make sure, yeah, see that's fine on here. For some reason it's weird, isn't it, how that works this time around, but before it didn't. And then we just want to, and I'm just going to take any excess glue off. And because I'm using wet glue, I'm just going to wait a second for that to dry. Right, so then we're going to do the same with this side. So we're going to slide this in like that and shimmy it up to the top so it's in line with the top, and I'm going to try and do it without getting my head in the way. So there, and then we just need to take a pencil again, make a little note of where the glue needs to go. Now this time you've got to be careful because obviously that one's stuck down and it's starting to come unstuck. So I just need to, let's just put that like that and just do that like that, and then turn the whole thing over like that. Okay. So then we're going to put some glue on this. Obviously if you use red tape that makes it easier in that it's stuck straight away, but obviously you need to make sure you're definitely getting it right. Right, so this then, we're going to again scooch it up to the top, whack it into that crease there. Shut this on it to make sure it's all straight. I'm going to flip this over, make sure that's all straight, and it is. And I'm just going to press down for a little bit because as I say, I'm using wet glue. So then what you want to do is, oh, this one's moved a little bit. There we go. Right, so then you're going to put some glue on the front here. Now you could put this down and make a little mark, but I'm going to use this line here to just kind of eye it and see where my glue needs to go. So come on here, just put a little bit of glue there, and then we're going to shut that down on top like that. Oh, now this wet glue I've put a bit too much, it's starting to squidge out. And what I think I might do is grab a peg, and I think I might peg that. Oh gosh, it really is squidging out. Come on, let's not squidge out quite so much. Didn't put that much glue on, surely. Okay, I'm just going to do a whole big like that. And I'm going to turn it around just so that I can be working and not knock that top bit. And then we're going to do the same again here. And then the last bit we need to do is this bit here. So this piece, you need a matte piece that is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then the pattern is 1 inch by 3 inch. So that is going to go on there like that. Right, so then what we want to do is go ahead and decorate. So I was thinking about using some of these little die cut roses, and I was thinking about maybe having like, maybe not that one, like one here, and then just having them kind of, and I've also got some loose ones, but I was thinking maybe something like that, and then I've got a happy birthday as well, which I've cut out, and I can either stick that on the back or I could have it attached somewhere, like from acetate, like I did with the other one. There we are. And then, yeah, that's those. Okay, so then this one, so what I was saying was, if I put this, I'll pick it up, if I put this on here, then what's going to happen is it's going to fold, it's going to go like, and if I turn it up the way, you'll see what I mean. So it needs to follow this line. So can you see how it's going that way rather than being straight? Because it has to follow this line here. So that's the problem. So I think that acetate to float, I think I'm going to have to do it from the back of here, or from, yeah, I think from the back. If I bring it to the front here, I think it's because it's a little bit too big. So I think I'm going to float it from here. So I'll put acetate behind this strut here and have it floating there, and it could just be resting on that valley, it won't matter too much. And then, yeah, because if I attach it from there, it's going to be a bit weird. So I think I want it in line with that one. I cut out a whole rectangle and had it all attached. So if you can see the shininess there. So it is literally the width. But I think with this one what we'll do is we'll just do like, I could either do just one and hold it that way, or I could do two because it's quite wide. I think I might do two. So I think I might put one on there and one down here and attach it on. So I think what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to put some red tape just at the top of that. Now I'm running a bit low on red tape, so I think we'll just use a some thick stuff. I've got to be careful because obviously I've got silicone gel here. So I think what we need to do is, yeah, so I'm going to line this up with my back piece, and I've lined it up so that it's in line with the pattern piece at the side there, like that, and then I'm just going to close this onto it like that. Try not to press my flowers down too much. I'm going to do the same with this one. So take the backing off and then fold this extra piece in, and then we're going to come over here, and it needs to be about, I would say, about there. So I'm just going to bring that up like that and sort of guide it, make sure it's kind of straight. That, oh, I might need to move it over a little bit actually. Let's move it over a bit there. Like that, and then fold this onto it. Like that. So I've now got two little bits of acetate dangling down, if you can see them. So one here and one here. And then with it like that, I can then take this one and put this on top and work out where it needs to be. Yeah, and there you have, and that just needs to come in front. Let me just make that come in front. Oh, there we go. Our birthday comes in front. There you go. And then that stands up. Now that does twist a little bit. That happy birthday does twist a bit because of that there, but I didn't want to bring it any further over. So there you go. That is the card. And obviously you could add more if you wanted to. You could really go to town on it. I've kind of underdone it a bit. So that's the other one. So yeah, there you go. So it's nice and easy to do, really. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.